Alright, what's up YouTube? Today is going to be another quick video, hopefully. And today is going to be a top 10 tips for beginner guitar players. We've all had to start somewhere. There's no shame in it. We all need a bit of help sometimes. And this is just going to be a quick video, again, for beginners. So, let's start right away. And number one, practice. Okay? I know like the old adage goes, practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. It's all true. If you don't practice at least an hour every other day at least, you're never going to get very good, okay? There's always going to be the one person out there that's just got that natural ability that is going to be brilliant even though he never plays. Chances are you're not that guy. I'm not. If you don't practice, you're never going to get good. So what I do, I set aside about at least an hour. Sometimes I go longer, sometimes it's a bit shorter, every other day. And I just go through a couple of songs that I feel like playing that day, do some exercises, just keeps your hand capable of playing, and you practice. Number two, lessons. Most people out there are just, you can't pick up the guitar and expect to just be amazing at it. You need to take lessons, okay? I took lessons for maybe 5 years when I first started. You need lessons to get at least the basics down. Now, when I say lessons, it can be in person with a teacher. I know some teachers offer Skype lessons. It can be buying some videos. There's probably tutorials on YouTube on tricks like this video right here, tricks and tips for beginners. Just use whatever you have access to. Nothing you do is going to hurt, so take some lessons, get the basics down. Number three, invest in a good tuner. This personally is my favorite one that I've found so far. It's a Snark. It's a clip-on. You clip it on the headstock, and it works with vibrations of the guitar, and it will help you stay in tune. If you're not in tune, what you're playing is not going to sound right to you. It's going to throw you off. You need to be in tune, so one of the first things after you buy a guitar, actually when you buy a guitar, buy a decent tuner. Number four, there's software options out there. I use one quite often that is called Guitar Pro. It works on PC, it works on Macs, and you can find it for a reasonable price out there easily enough. I think I paid about $60 for my version. I've been using it for years. It's a brilliant tool. What it is, if people out there don't know, it's a program you run on your computer. You go online, you can download Guitar Pro tabs that are user-made. So some of them are going to be way off, some of them are pretty good, and there's something everywhere in between. So you'll go online, like I said, you'll find a Guitar Pro tab for a song you want to learn. All it is basically a multi-track program that will show you the tabs for lead guitar, rhythm guitar. If there's more than that, it'll depending on what the user's built. Again, it's user-driven mostly. Drums, bass guitar. Some people put in vocal tracks, keyboards if there's keyboards in the song. All the instruments basically. And it'll show you the tabs on screen, and then you can press play. Depending on the level of the software you have, I invested a bit more, got the RSC pack so it actually sounds like guitars, basses, and drums. Again, it's a program, don't expect it to sound like a real band, but it's close enough. What I find it does for me is it'll give you a better idea of what you're supposed to be playing. Sometimes just seeing notes on a screen, tabs on a screen, it's just not clear. You can highlight sections, loop it, you can do whatever you want with this program, okay? And it'll just give you a really good idea of this is what the notes are, this is what it's supposed to sound like. For me, that helps me. If you're not into that, another option that I really like personally, and this helps with some of the other tips and tricks that are going to be coming up, a video game called Rocksmith. It's available on PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, and on PC. You can find the PC version for really cheap. There's a Rocksmith 1 and there's a Rocksmith 2014, which is like the second version. The only problem with this is that you absolutely need a proprietary cable that, as far as I know, the only way to get it is through Ubisoft or Used Market. And that cable is basically a guitar input jack to USB that lets you plug in your guitar directly into the console or PC. It's the same cord, as far as I know, for Xbox, PS4, PC. The cord I'm using is one that I got that was for Xbox 360. I'm using it with my PC. It works fine. For those that aren't aware, what Rocksmith is if you've played Guitar Hero, basically the same idea, but with a real guitar. What will happen is, depending on your level, it'll start you off with only a few notes. So if you're learning a song, maybe you're only playing, a couple of notes. And then as you get better, it adds more notes to what you're playing until eventually you're playing the whole song. I really like it. Again, you can find it for cheap. The only problem is getting the cable. Tip 5, exercises. Okay, so sounds stupid, but if I'm watching a movie, especially when I was starting to play, guilty, I don't do it quite as much anymore, but if you're just watching TV, watching a movie, you're just learning how to play, do simple exercises like that. That's one that I used to do quite often just to get your fingers going. See, I have trouble even now. Yeah, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 until you get to the end. Move over 1, go the other way, move over 1, go back down until you reach the end of your fretboard. Just do that while you're watching a movie, while you're watching TV. You end up not even thinking about it. You get exercise for your fingers, and everyone wins. When I was saying about Rocksmith helps with some of the other tips, exercises. Rocksmith, other than just having the songs that you learn to play, also offers you an arcade, which is basically just doing stuff like that. There's mini games for hitting the right string. As simple as that, just so that you can quickly, it tells you string 6, string 5, 3, 2, 1, whatever, mixes the order up. Hitting the right frets, just 3 fingers, you have to hit the right frets. Stupid things like that, but you're playing a mini game and it's basically making you do your exercises. Tip number 6, use your pinky. Okay, this is one that I was super guilty of when I first started. I'm still working on it. It's still not perfect. The exercise I was doing is a great one for just using all your fingers. You have 4 fingers that you can hit frets with. If you're not using your pinky, you're limiting yourself. You're not going to be able to play as fast. You're going to have trouble with solos. There's still some really fast stuff that I just can't do with my pinky all the time. I'm trying to work on it. I've been playing guitar for about 20 years and I'm still working on it. But yeah, the sooner you can start using all your fingers to do exercises, to play chords, to play solos, to play notes, the better off you'll be. Number 7, proper pick holding technique. This sounds really silly to me, but I mean recently I've seen quite a few people that just don't hold the pick properly, and if it works for them, great. The proper way to hold a pick, and this is the same for no matter what pick you're using, I'm using a very small Jazz 3 pick, is to place it against your finger like so, and then just put your thumb over it. So your hand should look something like this, with only a small part of the pick sticking out. You don't want the whole pick sticking out, and what I usually see is a lot of people that hold the pick like this. You can play, but that's not proper pick technique, and you're gonna end up with problems when you're trying to alt pick. hold the pick properly. It's simple, just get it from the start and then you're fine. Tip number 8, set up your guitar properly. I did another quick video about how to do proper guitar setups. If you're not comfortable with that, no problem. Bring it to the shop. Most shops will have someone on hand that can do it for you. They will charge you. But it's important. If your guitar is not properly set up, you're not going to be comfortable playing it. If you're not comfortable playing it, you're not going to want to play guitar. If you don't want to play guitar, then why did you buy one? It's like I said, in my video I explain it. If you're not comfortable, bring it to a luthier, bring it to your shop where you bought it, get them to do it. It will probably cost you anywhere up to, I've seen up to $100. Kind of sucks, but it's important. And it's something that you're going to end up doing maybe once a year, maybe every other year. Depends on your climate, depends on how varied the temperature gets, depends on the quality of your guitar that you bought. But it's not something that you should have to do super often, but get it done. You'll be much more comfortable and it'll make you want to play. Number 9, a metronome. Play with a metronome. If you're just learning a simple song, play with a metronome. It'll help you keep time. If the song is in 4/4, get a metronome. Back in the day when I started playing, like I said, 20 years ago, we didn't have smartphones. Nowadays, everyone's got a smartphone. You've got a smartphone, you can get a metronome app, you've got a metronome. Metronome, for those that don't know, is just a click track that will keep time. If the song is in 4/4, 3/3, whatever it is, how many beats per minute, it'll help you keep track. So if it's in 4/4, it'll 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have an audible click, and you're supposed to fit that measure of the song you're playing in those 4 clicks. And last tip for today is record yourself. Okay, this sounds silly, but trust me. Video record yourself or just audio record yourself. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you have on hand, whatever's easier for you. Learn a song. When you think you have it properly, you've been playing it along to the record, or you've been playing with someone else, you think you've got it really down packed, record yourself. Okay, it sounds silly, but record yourself, listen to it, watch the video, and you'll be able to see where maybe you could improve a bit. Where you made a mistake that maybe you don't hear while you're playing along to the record or with a friend. And it'll just help you work on your technique. It'll help you see what you're doing wrong and where you can improve. It's as simple as that, and like we say, we're all our harshest critics, so by recording yourself and listening to it, you'll be your own harshest critic and you'll know what to work on. Alright, bit of a bonus tip because I just thought of it, so I'm going to throw it in this video anyway. Tip 11, wipe down your guitar when you're done playing. You've just been playing for your hour, whatever you want to be playing, you've been playing with your band, whatever. Get yourself a good microfiber cloth and then just wipe down your guitar. The most important part is going to be the back of the neck. Get all the grease, finger gunk, whatever's on there off of there. Wipe down the strings. And you'll notice too on the body where you've been leaning, your guitar should be nice and shiny. You're going to find that couple of spots where it's not quite as shiny. Wipe it down. This is going to do a couple of things for you. Wiping down the strings, they'll last longer. You're getting the sweat and stuff off of them before it has time to oxidate the strings too much. Especially if you're not using coated strings. It'll just make them last longer. Even if you're using coated strings, wipe them down, it makes them last longer. Wiping down the back of your neck is going to make it so next time you pick this thing up, the neck is still going to feel nice and smooth, nice and slippery. You're not going to have those spots where grease is accumulated and just doesn't feel quite right. On top of it, just wiping down will make the finish on your guitar last longer. So again, you don't need to get guitar polish. It's a nice thing to have if you want to, but you don't really need it. If you're just taking a microfiber cloth, wiping your guitar down when you're done playing, it'll last longer, the strings will last longer, you'll feel better playing it. there you go. Tip number 11.